Right, Dylan, well, this is the first paper 2 that I've marked for you, but I was really impressed with the 65 you got in the test last week. So let's see how you get on this week. Right, the mistake that you've made here is that this is for 2 shirts. So you don't multiply 1846 by 6, you actually multiply it by 3. So then let's just check to see whether you then add up your incorrect answers correctly. So 59.96, 32.70, 110.76, 65.36. You've done something wrong there. 59.96 plus 32.70 plus 110.76 plus £65.36. Try again. 268.78. So you've added that up wrong somehow. So 2 out of 4 for that. Then your discount, you don't have to do it this way because you're allowed to use a calculator. So it's going to be 0.05 times 259.78, 12.99. So you got 12.98 because that next, because the next digit is 5 or over, it rounds to 12.99. So you will lose 1 mark for that. That's good. So 4 for that, 7 for that page. 60 is good. You can see your method. That's good. 2 marks for that. C and A are right. B isn't. It needs to be. It's not certain that it's not going to stop on a yellow. What you've got there are 8 outcomes, and the number of ways that it's not going to stop on a yellow is 7 of those. So you're looking for a fraction of 7 out of 8. What you've highlighted there is 1 out of 1, or 8 out of 8. So 2 for that, 1 for that, 3 for that page. Cylinder cuboid is correct. That's not a chord. A chord would actually cut through the circle. So that would be a chord. One that touches the circle is called a tangent. This one's wrong with you. Perpendicular line means it's going to cut this line at right angles, 90 degrees. So the best way to do that is have a clear ruler. Use one of the markers on the ruler to line up against the printed line, and the edge of that ruler now is at right angles to it. So if you then slide it over until it comes through C, that's a perpendicular line. So 2 marks on that page. 316 and 920 is correct. 4.28 isn't. So what have we done here? 27.46 is correct. That's wrong. What you should be doing there is 5 lots of, so it's zone 2, additional 100 grams. It's that one that we're looking for, and we've got 500 lots of it, 500 grams worth. So that bit is wrong. You then correctly added those together and correctly subtract them. So for the 5 marks that are available for the maths, you're going to lose 1 of them for that part. One, two, three, 4, and then you're going to correctly get the mark for that. But as far as communicating what you're doing, you aren't really, you're using one word there to let me know what's happening. You aren't really saying where that bit's come from. That's the important bit, is what have you done there. So you're going to lose a communication mark for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7. Pattern 100 won't have 70 shaded squares. If you actually look, what you're looking for is a link between the parts of the pattern and the pattern number. So if you look at the white squares are always the same number as the pattern number: 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So there would be, in pattern 100, there'd be 100 white squares. Then you look at what the link is between that and the grey squares, and there's always one more grey square than there is white. So if there's 100 white squares, there'd be 101 grey squares. Pattern 60, well, pattern 60 is going to have 60 white and 61 grey. So 121 altogether. And then to find this one, if it's got 81 squares altogether, take off the top one, will give you 80. And the number of grey and white are always the same, so the number of white would be 40, and the white ones are the same as the pattern number. So no marks on that question, unfortunately. Adding 12 is correct. Now times it by 3 each time is wrong, because it needs to be times minus 3 in order to get that sign changing every other one. So 3 times minus 3, 3 3s are 9, plus times a minus is a minus. 3 times 9 is 27, minus times a minus is a plus, and so on. 102 is correct. That's correct. To turn that pence into pounds, you would divide by 100. So 4 for that page. That's correct, that's correct. So 4 there. Now for this one, that isn't the middle number, because if you look, you've got 3 that side of it and 4 that side of it. So what you have to do is go halfway between those two. Which will be 62. So 1 mark for that, but not full marks. 5 for that page. It's not 116 miles. Each little square here is 2, because you're going from 0 to 20 in 10 jumps. So that's going to be 110, 112, 114. That would be right for your wrong answer. It isn't 1 hour 20 minutes, because that is 30 minutes. Again, you need to make sure you know what each little square stands for. So here you're going 30 minutes in 10 jumps, so each little square is worth 3. So that would be 30, 33, 36, 39, 42. And 1339, that's 1330, so 1339 would be there. So again, because each one of those is only worth 1 mark, there's no part marks. So you've lost quite a few marks there, unfortunately. 38% is correct, and 10 days is correct. Good. So 100 on rent. Now, what you've done wrong here is it's 2/5, not of what's left, but 2/5 of 400. You've worked out 2/5 of 300, I think. Let me just check. Yeah. So that's what you've done wrong there. Is it's not 2/5 of what's left, it's 2/5 of 400. You've worked out 2/5 of 300. And then to write it as a fraction, for yours, it would be 180 over 400. So again, use your fraction button, let that do the work for you. 180 out of 400, which is 9 over 20, not 20 over 9. So your method is right, and in fact the only thing you've done wrong is worked with what's left rather than the 400, and then you've written your fraction the wrong way around. It needs to be that way around. So you'll get 2 out of 4 for that, because your method is correct. This one, PQR is 48. Let's just have a look. Yeah, that one will be good enough. And this one is 67. Yep. So that triangle is correct. Now, this is a classic reason why you need to use a pencil. The examiner doesn't know which one of those you think is right or wrong, because you haven't crossed out the wrong one. So the chances are you wouldn't get the marks even though you've drawn the right thing, because you've given the examiner 2 possible answers. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time, but that could end up with 0, not 3. Point A is there, so you want your 60 degrees in that direction, and you need to construct it, not measure it. And we'll go through this week how to do that. Is that as far as you got? Right, so there are definitely questions further up there that you were capable of answering, Dylan. So it's worth you going back and trying to finish that off. Nevertheless, what you've done is quite good. So let's see what score you get. 7, 9, 11, 14, 16, 18, 23, 27, 32, 33, 39, 41, 44. So 44 is E. It's 5 marks off a grade D. Quite a way off the 61 you need to get a C, but there's an awful lot in there that you haven't even attempted. So reasonably happy with that, but you should be capable of better.